All right, this is my signature project stage 2 by Lauren Bolts. What is my problem? The study that I did addressed large deficits in reading for students and the effects of a digital intervention tool in increasing those deficits. The purpose of this study was to evaluate the impact of a digital intervention tool when addressing students' reading deficits along with using Tier 2 intervention. The problem started with learning at home. The COVID-19 pandemic affected so many people. Students were a large part of those affected because of schools shutting down. When virtual learning began, it was challenging for students and for teachers because we had never done this before. As a result of virtual learning, many students needed to catch up. They needed reliable internet access, even if schools provided a device for their schoolwork. Many students in rural areas did not have the connectivity that they needed in order to be successful with virtual learning. We are still seeing side effects of those issues in schools today. They saw results of months of learning at home virtually because many of students were below level in multiple areas. Many students were struggling with basic tasks and socialization skills. After testing, the teacher saw that the problem had to be addressed. The school that I work at and this study was conducted at is McDavid Jones Elementary School. We also dealt with many issues because we are in a rural area, and even though our district did supply devices and hotspots to students, they still did not pick up in many of the students' homes because of the rural area that they are in. They were not able to participate in online lessons or complete their work. This caused issues because they missed valuable instruction time. And this was a longer period of time. It wasn't just for the 3 weeks that they initially had thought it would be. So there are several students at our school that are severely behind in many subject areas. We are looking for the right intervention tools to help get these students caught back up where they need to be. And I did research, and using multiple components have been successful to make up those deficits. A digital intervention tool used with explicit instruction as a multi-component approach aided those students in achieving proficiency in reading. So this is the beginning of the year data, and I had 3 classes. So this was one class, and as you can see that there were only one student in this class that was on grade level. All the other students were 1, 2, or 3 or more grade levels below. This was class 2. There was one student above or on mid-grade level, 4 that were on grade level. The rest of the students were 1, 2, or 3 or more grades below. And for class 3, there were none above grade level, 2 on grade, and the rest of the students were 1, 2, or 3 grade levels below. So here is a slide that shows all of the data compiled together. And as you can see, majority of students are 1, 2, or 3 or more grade levels below. So for my project, the action plan was to use the data from 3 different classes. They were assigned randomly at the beginning of the school year and put into classes. And then I placed the students into 2 groups. One group used the digital intervention tool throughout the year. Another did not. The groups were selected based on their scores of their diagnostic assessments in our digital intervention tool, which was iReady. The lower the score, the lower the deficit. The lower the deficit, the greater need that the students had for intervention. Students above or on grade level did not use the tool, but they did receive explicit instruction along with the students that did. The students that did use the digital intervention tool were also given small group intervention throughout the year, and they use this tool for at least 45 minutes a week in class. The lessons are assigned automatically to the students based on their progress, and each plan that the students had was specific to their needs. The small group instruction and whole group instruction was given to all students And then the initial diagnostic test showed what their reading deficits were, and this was how the sample was chosen. Because of the convenience of being able to collect the data and provide intervention to these students in my classes. And I was the teacher throughout the whole school year, which was the duration of our experiment. So this was our timeline before school started. The students were assigned to classes. They all took their diagnostic test at the beginning of the year before any instruction was given or any intervention. The data used was their scores on this diagnostic was collected at the beginning of the term. They then took the mid-year assessment after 18 weeks of instruction, and that testing window was assigned by our district. The students that were absent were tested as soon as they returned to school. The sampling technique was convenient sampling. The data used for the study was available because they were in my classes in 5th grade at McDavid Jones. Intervention was provided the entire duration of the study, and they were divided into groups by the intervention tool, which is where they take the diagnostic from each of the 3 classes. Doing some research on this topic before I began the study showed that using multiple components effectively bridges those gaps in reading for most students. It shows that students still need to have explicit instruction in a whole group setting, which all students got. And progress monitoring is another tool that can be used in order to plan differentiated instruction, and that is most meaningful to students and their specific needs. All teachers at our school use progress monitoring, and using these tools together should positively impact student achievement in reading. So this shows that research shows that progress monitoring enables teachers to change the instruction based on their need. Progress monitoring shows what teachers are working and what is not working. So some of my small group instruction strategies may have changed based on progress monitoring, and the program that was used, the iReady program, helps us to progress monitor. It's much easier to collect data and use the data because it's all right there in one place. Technology is used in our school. It is push, and we are encouraged to incorporate it into our instruction. It has shown that technology helps struggling readers in organizing information as they take it in and supports positively impact students' understanding of information. The multi-component intervention tools also showed that it improves comprehension and foundational outcomes. Because we need to address several different parts of reading domains that students were not proficient in, we used the multiple intervention components for that study. It involved digital tools and explicit instruction from myself. Again, this is just more information on iReady. It is the digital intervention tool that our district uses, along with Tier 1, which is the explicit instruction that all students get. The thing that is very beneficial about this program is that it is very specific to each student's needs based on their performance in the program. The validity is that iReady is used in multiple states across the country. It uses best practices to engage the students in learning while they're building their skills. It provides personalized instruction, and it adjusts as needed to meet that student's specific needs. It is being used in about 10% of all K through 8 classrooms across the country, and it is used in all 50 states, servicing about 3.5 million students. A lot of students find this program boring, so sometimes they do not take the test seriously or the assigned lesson, so that is one thing that will threaten the validity. The time that the student takes to complete the lesson is reviewed, and the tests are also reviewed to make sure that this is somewhat controlled. Again, all students took the test in the district assigned testing window unless they were absent to make sure the conditions were the same for all students. We got informed consent because these students were minors, They participated while they were in class getting their regularly assigned material, and they were continued to be pooled in small groups. All the data was kept confidential, and we got the consent form for their parents before doing the study. And as a result, this was class 1 mid-year, and this is a comparison between mid-year and beginning of the year. Same for class 2. Comparison between beginning of the year and middle of the year. And then class 3 comparison. So this was the middle of the year data for all 3 classes. And this is our comparison. So as you can see, the students that were 3 or more grade levels went down. The students that were 2 or more went down. The students that were 1 or below stayed about the same. And then the on grade level went down a little bit, but our above grade level went up. So based on the results, the digital intervention tool did have a positive impact on student achievement. The students with larger deficits grew based on my end results. The digital intervention tool being tailored to the student's individual needs was beneficial to students. I will continue to research other tools available for students that are more engaging. This will help the students perform to their potential when using these types of intervention tools. Thank you.